Hi guys, Keir Starmer is going to have his work cut out for him when he meets Donald Trump next week, because it seems the US president now wants to engage in extortion when it comes to Ukraine. Trump was speaking during the Republican CPAC convention, which saw figures like J.D. Vance, Nigel Farage and Liz Truss attend. The US president engaged in his misinformation campaign, of course, and it looks like he wants Ukraine to hand over rare earth materials, which are generally part of the manufacture of electronic goods like batteries. Trump here is acting like a mafia boss. Have a listen.
Europe gave it in the form of a loan. They get their money back. We gave it in the form of nothing, so I want them to give us something for all of the money that we put up, and I'm going to try and get the war settled, and I'm going to try and get all that death ended. So we're asking for rare earth and oil, anything we can get, but we feel so stupid. Here's Europe. And you know, it affects Europe. It doesn't really affect us, except we don't like to see two things. Number one, how Biden got us into this thing in the first place. Terrible. But why is it that he didn't ask for equalization? Europe should put up more money than us. But even if you said the same thing, how come we went so far out front? And he didn't know that Europe gets his money back. They did it in the form of a loan. We don't get our money back. We get nothing. So we're getting our money back. We're going to get our money back because it's not fair. It's just not fair.
Okay. The European Union has donated more to Ukraine than the United States has. But if you break it down according to military aid, yes, the United States has donated more military aid than the European Union has. Now remember, the United States is the biggest contributor to NATO, and NATO has been providing support to Ukraine. So, of course, the United States will be providing more support than other member states of NATO. That's just the reality on the ground. Now, a lot of this is aid. It's not loans. And when it comes to military aid in particular, there are certain conditions that Ukraine has to follow as a result of getting that military aid. It's not allowed to fire weapons into places that the United States does not agree with. It's not allowed to sell these weapons on. Every weapon that's fired, there has to be a report carried out, and that information has to be transmitted back to the United States. These are the rules. These are just some of the rules that Ukraine has to follow as a result of that military aid. Now, when it comes to humanitarian aid, this is a different kettle of fish. But Trump isn't concerned about that. Now, when it comes to aid, this is about the United States saying, we're giving you this and these are the rules you have to follow. And so far, it seems Ukraine has respected those rules. It has not breached those rules in any way. So it upheld its side of the bargain. The United States was not forced to provide support. It decided to provide this support. No one was conned, no one was tricked. This was a conscious decision that the United States made. In the same way as the United States provides military aid to other countries around the world. But we don't hear much about that from Trump. Just Ukraine, for some reason. And when it comes to providing aid, the United States, of course, has control over the doctrine, has control over how the aid is used. Now, what Donald Trump seems to be doing is he wants to extort, for example, these rare earth materials out of Ukraine. He wants to get this back in his eyes. This is our way of getting our money back. This is just like a mafia boss. You know, we've given you something, now we want something in return. You've already received something in return. You're in control of that aid. This is about protecting allies. That's what it's there for. It's to stop Putin from getting further into Europe. Because we know that he wants to influence, at the least, Eastern European countries. And it's potentially a case where he's going to invade those other countries if he was or if he is successful in Ukraine. Nothing will stop him after this. So that aid is to protect America's allies. But Trump, of course, doesn't see it like that. I don't know whether he actually believes this or not, but he wants some sort of payback. And of course, this is about taking from Ukraine and giving them nothing in return. stealing their resources. Trump is not somebody who respects international agreements. He doesn't respect the rule of law. So, of course, if he were to sign some sort of agreement with Ukraine, yeah, give us these materials and we'll give you military support, does anyone honestly believe that he would uphold that side of the bargain? Of course he wouldn't. He's a charlatan. He's a convicted felon. He's untrustworthy. So Ukraine would be, I don't know what they would be doing. It would be a massive mistake for them if they were to go into some sort of agreement with Donald Trump. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.